Welcome to Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artworks creations. In this particular video, we will be looking at the ancient ceiling calendar of Dendera, the ancient Egyptian ceiling calendar. When we look at the circle being supported by ancient pharaohs, and we must look at the meaning of the Dendera Egyptian ceiling calendar, where we see the zodiac. And when we look at the zodiac, it seems to be a disconnect from the zodiac of the seer of the globed earth to the Egyptian pyramids. Now, that problem has been solved when we view the original Masonic square or ziggurat square in Iran. When we look at Iran's Masonic ziggurat square in Chugha Zanbil, or that's Chogha Zanbil. When we look at the Arab view Masonic ziggurat square in Iran, we see the Dendera ceiling calendar architecture. I'm referring to the 33 Masonic square image. Now, inside the center of the 33 Masonic square image, we see a great alien face, and we also see African faces. But the central focus of the 33 Masonic square is centered around a great extraterrestrial guardian of our entire solar system. So when we look at this connection to the Dendera ceiling calendar, we see that this circle in the ceiling of the Dendera temple in Egypt, this circle has an X emerging from the center, out breaking the perimeter of the circle. Now, when we look at the Egyptian pyramids from a helicopter, we see an X, because within the square base. That's like if you take a blank sheet of paper and write a square on it, then write an X in that square. This means that we had decoded the Dendera ceiling calendar to the square base of the Egyptian pyramid, where we see the X within the square as the four triangular slopes emerging from the base of the pyramid up until the apex of the pyramid. Now, when we look at the 8356 Dendera ceiling calendar architecture, in which uncovers Iran's Masonic ziggurat square in Chogha Zanbil, we see the planetary images upon surrounding the Iranian Masonic square image generated from a square ziggurat. Now, in order to give you a clear understanding of what Iran's Masonic ziggurat square in Chogha Zanbil represents, you must take a square concrete about 3 feet high. So if you take and pour a square foundation with concrete, and make sure that the square is about 3 feet high. Well, actually 2.5 feet high. Once that concrete solidifies within the square, you have a concrete square. Now, if you stack another square concrete on top of the first square concrete, that's the first step pyramid in Babylon. So now we have two square concrete foundations, one on top of the other. Now if you stack a third square concrete foundation on top of the second one, you have three square steps. Now this is I am giving you a visual image of the ancient Iranian Masonic square design of this square ziggurat, which represents the Babylonian style pyramids in a Masonic form. Now when we talk about this, we see 7 squares. All right. Stacked on top of one another. Now remember, these are square bases. Now when we talk about the Babylonian style pyramids of the first black African Hamitic civilizations of Ham, we're talking about the book of Genesis 2:7, normal-headed African Adamic race. And their entrance as the 12 sons of Jacob into ancient Egypt, according to the book of Psalms, 105th chapter and 23rd verse. We see the 4th son of Jacob entering into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob, where we currently see the 4th son of Jacob today in front of the Isaiah 19:19 North African pyramids of Khufu in Egypt. Now, when we talk about the black African lion sphinx face upon the lion's body in front of the Isaiah 19:19 Giza pyramids in North Africa, we see the Masonic square of Iran's Masonic ziggurat square in Chuk-Ha Zinbel, and we also see the astronomical data of the Dendera ceiling calendar architecture, which is a circle that has an X emerging from the center, breaking the outer perimeter of the circle. This X within the circle of the Dendera ceiling calendar aligns with Iran's Masonic ziggurat square in Chuk-Ha Zinbel. The 33 face within the square is a great extraterrestrial that has 3 fingers and 1 thumb on each hand and big black oval shaped eyes. This great extraterrestrial guardian of our entire solar system seems to be the chief focus of the Masonic square in Iran. Now when we talk about the Dome on the Rock and the Lion Sphinx of ancient Ethiopia, the Lion Sphinx of Judah, we see the Masonic square being represented within the Dome on the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames. So when we look at the octagonal building structure called the El Sacred Mosque that has golden dome, in reference to the rectangular building structure that has a gray dome called the El Aqsa Mosque. We see the Lion Sphinx face upon the wall of the El Aqsa Mosque next to a brown extraterrestrial, a brown skinny extraterrestrial. Now remember, the gray aliens with big black oval shaped eyes that have 3 fingers and 1 thumb, they are kin to the brown extraterrestrials, brown skinny extraterrestrials. Now we also see this extraterrestrial upon the El Sacred Mosque as a brown skinned extraterrestrial that looks like or resembles a gray in body form, a gray extraterrestrial. And we now see the African Lion Sphinx of Genesis 49:8 as the 4th son of Jacob, original Masonic squares upon the outer wall surface of the Dome of the Rock, octagonal building structure in the Middle East, in Jerusalem.